Hello friends, I welcome you all from HLT of Tech channel, and today we are going to discuss something important, that is creating and configuring the search service for facilitating users with search facility. First of all, let me tell you that whenever you create any environment of SharePoint 2019 on premise, the search facility is not enabled by default. You have to enable it to facilitate your users with the search facility. Moreover, the search engine of SharePoint is very efficient. It gives you multi features and multiple options of searching, just like you can say Google search engine. It's like Google search engine. It gives you many good search results. I will cover a separate video for that regarding the SharePoint search features, because it's a very important topic, and one must know while configuring the search service for SharePoint. So in this related video, we have an environment of SharePoint 2019 on-premise environment. We already have configured an Active Directory. We have a database server of SharePoint. We have one application server, and in this application server we are going to install the role of search service. At this point, it is very important to understand that quantum of your users or the quantum of your data, it totally depends that how much data is being stored on your web application of SharePoint. If you have a million of files, let's say you have million of files and you have a very large environment, then it's not recommended that you configure a role of search service with the existing application server. It is always recommended that you create a separate search server for that role. In your environment, it must have a dedicated role of search, you can say. But in small organizations that have a small data comparatively, or you can say that users of up to 4 to 5,000 users, let's say, and you have a quantum of data up to 2 TB or 3 TB maximum, then you can go for a search service role in your existing application server. But I always recommend that if you have a professional organization and you are dealing with a large environment, a large quantum of data, then you must create a separate search server. In this video, I will tell you both. And if you want to see about the SharePoint server farm, how you can add a search server, please navigate to my previous videos in my channel, and you will see that there is already I have covered some videos regarding that, theoretical videos, in which I have given a brief idea through the diagrams, that how you can, what is the difference between server, separate server, or the search server with an additional role of application as well. So in this video, we also have one web front-end server that is dedicated for entertaining the user's request, so that the application server may not have the user entertaining load. It is uh, separately dedicated to web front-end server. Again, this things and this theoretical portion is already covered in my video, previous videos that are already in my channel. You can go and see that videos, and you can also subscribe the channel, so that my subscriber may increase and you may get the latest videos in future as well. So let's coming to the task. We are going to create and configure the search service for facilitating users with search facility. So uh, first of all, this is my website. We have configured it in our previous videos. If I go and test something here, you will notice that the search will not work. Okay, the search will give you some empty results, or even it will say that the keyword is not found. This is not the reason that the keyword doesn't exist. This is the reason that your search service is not configured. at your backend servers. So it's not giving any result. Furthermore, if I go deep into the document center where I already have some documents placed and I just write causes here, I am going to search causes. Here you will see that the search result for causes is no item match your search result. But if you see that you can easily find that causes is there in the name of my file that is residing in the document library. So it means that the search is not working for the users. For making it workable or for facilitating your users, you have to configure it. For configuring it, we will go into central administration in my application server. This is the SharePoint Central Administration. I've already covered the video about it in my previous videos. Uh, Here I will go into manage server applications. So here you can see that some services are already there. From these services, if I look at this service is created by default whenever you create a search application server. Similarly, this service is also created by default whenever you create a application server. Now this is my application server. 10 20 30 12 is the IP, and if I want to add an additional role of search here, what I'm going to do, I'm going to add a search service here. Okay, I'm going to add a search service here. I will click search service. I'm leaving this as default. I'm leaving it as default. Let me tell you one thing, that whenever you create any service here, by default some application pools are created. These application pools are stored in SharePoint, and these application pools are responsible for giving you the request results. So when creating search service application, it will create three pools. The first will be the name, then the search service account. You can have a separate account for this service as well. For this video, I'm keeping it default to my primary administrator. Okay, these are the pools. Sorry, there are two pools here. The first pool is for uh, admin web services pool. I will name it as SSA admin web services pool. Okay, and the second pool will be application pool for search query. I will name it as, I will copy it, paste it, search query services pool. You may name it as per your convenience, as per your criteria, as per your organization standards. I am just keeping it simple to remember. After that, so I'm going to click OK. After clicking OK, it will take some time for creating new application pools. Remember, it will also create some additional databases in your database server for indexing, crawling, and admin web services. I will show you after that, after the this new service application is created. So stay with me, and meanwhile subscribe my channel. Okay friends, after some few minutes, the search service application has been created successfully. This is the message, and now we are clicking OK. So if we see here, you can see that the search application pool has been created. It has also created an application administration web services pool. If you remember, I told you that there are two type of pools. The one of them is search administration web service pool. So if I click on this application, now what I can see here, I can see different things. First of all, I am seeing that the administrative status is running. Okay, fine. Then it's telling me that is there any crawler background activity? No, fine. If you remember, default content access account was this one. You can change it anytime by clicking here and by specifying the new one. And if you see here, There are some other things as well. You can also define a global search center URL, which I am going to cover in my upcoming videos. And the most important thing, it has 4 dbs. Okay, it has already created the 4 dbs. The first one is search at this one, then the second one is this one, the third one is this one, and fourth one is this one. Let me double verify it by logging into my database server. If I go into my database server, that is my 11. Okay, in databases you can see that the search service application has created these 4 databases, 1, 2, 3, 4, and these 4 databases are responsible for all the indexing, all the crawling activity, all the admin web services pool that were created. The SharePoint automatically creates many tables here. It's always recommended that you can only explore these tables. It's not recommended that you go into these tables and start editing their columns or anything. It may result in misleading or misbehaving of the search engine of SharePoint. So these are 4 database servers. If we see them here in the app server, you will see that these are with the link store DB ID. So this is the search application topology. Right now it's unable to retrieve topology component health state, but it after some time it will do some background activities. After that, I will show you that there will be 4 green ticks here that will be showing that everything is okay. If I go to refresh it, okay, fine. After refreshing it, you are seeing that some of these admin is okay, crawler is having some warning. Okay, we will see it later. Then content processing is enabled, fine. Analytic processing is enabled, query processing is enabled, and index partition is having warning. These warnings, they no need to worry about these warnings, because whenever you create a search service here in central administration of SharePoint, it may take some time to perform its timer jobs that are running behind, depending upon your server resources that you have given. This is my test environment. I have given it very few resources. That's why it's taking more time. In your professional organization, you have very high spec servers. You give very high resources to your app servers or the search server. Here one thing is important, that while talking about these things, I got to remember, I should tell you that it's very important that the search service, whenever you create a search service, it must be on a high spec server. Okay, if it's on an high spec server, because there are multiple activities that the search engine is doing. It is crawling all the website, it is crawling even the within the content of your documents. If you just imagine there are millions of documents, then this search server will take a lot of resources, especially the CPU, because it's calculating many things, it's indexing many things, it's crawling many things. So it's always recommended that you give adequate resources to your search server, so that it may perform in a optimized way. So after talking about this thing, I have refreshed it, and you can see that all of these services are now okay. It means that my search service has been configured successfully, and all the components of all the search application topology components are working in a good way. This green ticks are showing that my service is fine. So When as a best practice as a SharePoint administrator, it is also recommended that whenever you do your daily checks, you should also make this point as an essential point checklist item, that you go into central administration, and from here you go into the managed service application and see the search service application topology. uh, just you know need to see these components. If these all are okay, then your search service must be running properly. So as a best practice, it's always recommended to monitor these things. If there are any issues, go into the details to review that issues, so that your users are not affected at any time. So this is also preventive maintenance as well. Okay, fine. After that, we have successfully created a search service application, and now you have to go into the content sources. If we go into the content sources, you will notice that it has already created a one content source by default. And if I click here and edit it, you will see that we will see that which applications it has included. Okay, by default it has included this website, which is my already created website. But whenever you create any search application, by default it includes all the web applications that are included in the in your SharePoint farm. So if I double show you, you can see that this is the website. Let me show you. This is my main website, 45508 HLTF Tech Company. And if I again verify it, it's the same as well. After that, you have some subsites. There are some subsites here, so it's not recommended that you SharePoint doesn't allow you to enter the subsites. It means that whenever you allow the main site to be crawled, automatically your subsites will also be crawled. If you want to exclude any subsite, then you have to configure some crawl rules of exclusion. I will cover this topic in my upcoming videos as well. Right now we are configuring this facility of search, so that the users may get the can easily search the content that is placed in the SharePoint website. So I'm leaving it default, and I'm going to click OK. And if I go into crawl log, you will see that no log will be appearing. Why? Because I have just configured this service. I have not executed this service. So let's start the execution of the crawling. So here you can see that the status is idle, and I'm going to do a full crawl. It will initially you have to do a full crawl. Make sure that I have already told you that this full crawl will take extensive resources of your memory resources, that is CPU and RAM as well. So it's always recommended that if you have a million of documents, for example, in your SharePoint sites, then it is always recommended that you perform this activity of full crawl at night. So because it has a very impact load, so we are going to click OK. Okay, the status is starting, and after some few seconds you can refresh it, so that it may tell you the current status. It's starting, still starting. 30 seconds have gone, 19 seconds have gone, and it's still starting. And after about 25 seconds the status is scrolling full. It will take some time depending upon the quantity of data you have. If you have TBs of data, let's say terabytes of data, then remember it may take up to several hours for full crawling. But if you have very minute data, uh, as a best practice, it is always recommended that you have a staging environment. You configure your search engine in staging environment where there is very less data. Then in that type of environment, it will take few minutes. As right now, I have a very few data. I have only two documents, so it will take I think less than 5 minutes. So keep staying with me so that we may end up the video in a fruitful way. Thank you. Okay, friends, you can see that after passing the time of 4 minutes 41 seconds, the crawler or the status has converted to idle. It means that all the crawl activity of this content source has been completed successfully. Now I will go into crawl log to verify the results. Okay, this is telling me that the last crawl was of 4 minutes 41 seconds and wonderful. It's showing me the successes of 117 and no warning, no error, no top level errors and no deletes. Okay, so I will tell you briefly about them in my upcoming videos. Right now we are concerned with the results, that whether we have made this facility available for the users or not. So here if I will click on 117 to verify what are the results that have been crawled successfully, you will see that these are all the results of my successful crawls, and it's showing me the green indication with the crawled. That means that it has been crawled successfully. I am concerned with my document center. Okay, fine. It has also crawled this one. So let's see whether my search is working or not. I will go here. If I click here, this is my URL of doc center that has been crawled successfully. I can even copy it and paste it to see whether the result is successful or not. uh, exact match search, and it will tell me yes, it is telling me that it is successful. It has crawled this URL for 2 times in this activity, so it means that hopefully the results will be coming in my SharePoint site. I will go in documents and I want to search this point. Okay, so let's see 02. Wow, it's showing me the results. If I write causes, yeah, wonderful. So the results are coming now. These, if I close the inverted commas, sorry, if I see that, if I write off y, that the strings that I'm writing, you can notice that they are coming here. They are coming here, and by bold words it means that the item is searchable. If I click it right now, it's allowing me to save because I don't have any Microsoft Word application that may allow it to open online or in client application, so I can save it as well. So this shows that my search is working fine. So this was all about configuring search and making it available to the users. Guys, I thank you all for watching these videos, and I also request you to subscribe my channel because I have many more things to tell you about these SharePoint topics regarding especially on-premise environment. If you have any question in this video, you may leave it, because it's not as simple as configuring it just like that. In your environment you have different scenarios. You have HTTPS bindings that may give you some errors. You have alternate access mapping as well that may inhibit the crawlers to load successfully. You may have preventive crawl report directives as well, that is report file of your site maps. So if you face any difficulty regarding these issues, you may leave it in the comment box so that I may try to help you at my best. I thank you all for watching this video.